Hello, sleepy thinkers, and welcome to Sleepy Science Teller. I'm so glad you are here. This is a place where you can rest, let your mind wander, and drift gently into sleep while we explore the wonders of science together. Tonight, we will be talking about something both mysterious and comforting, the illusion of reality. The idea that what we see, hear, and feel may not be the world as it truly is, but only a gentle shadow, a version created by our minds. Before we begin, I'd love to know where you are listening from. Would you leave a little note in the comments with your location and the time right now where you are? It's always so beautiful to see how many dreamers are falling asleep all around the world. And if you enjoy these bedtime discoveries, please do press the like button and subscribe. It helps our little family of curious dreamers grow. And it means you'll never miss a quiet journey into the world of science. Imagine yourself standing quietly in a forest at dusk. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of damp earth. You hear the rustling of leaves, the chirping of hidden crickets. Above you, the last golden light filters to the branches, painting gentle patterns on a forest floor. In this moment, it feels as though you are perceiving everything the forest contains. Every sound, every sight, every sensation seems to weave into a whole picture. But what you are experiencing is not the true forest. It is only your version of it. The truth is, the forest is overflowing with signals that your body cannot detect. Birds call at frequencies you cannot hear. Bees see colors in ultraviolet, invisible to your eyes. Moss glows faintly under certain wavelengths, but not to you. Countless chemical traces fill the air, unnoticed by your nose. Magnetic fields sweep gently through the ground beneath your feet. Though you cannot feel them, your senses act like curtains, filtering the infinite reality into a smaller, softer portion. What you experience is not the world itself, but a model of it, a simplified painting, crafted by evolution to keep you safe, to help you survive. If all reality crashed upon you at once, every vibration, every photon, every atom, you would be overwhelmed. Imagine trying to read every book in a library. Simultaneously, your mind would collapse under the flood. And so, your senses act as guardians. They filter away almost everything and let in just enough to create the illusion that what you perceive is complete. But it is not complete. It is a fraction, a whisper, a shadow of what lies beyond. Take color, for instance. You see a ripe apple glowing red. The red seems to belong to the apple itself, but it does not. The apple is reflecting certain wavelengths of light, while absorbing others. Your eyes detect those specific wavelengths. Your brain paints them as red. But to a bee, the same apple shines with ultraviolet patterns, invisible to you. To a snake, the apple glows with warmth in the infrared spectrum. To a bat, the apple might not appear as color at all, but as a faint echo in sound waves. Which apple is real? The red apple? The ultraviolet apple? The warm infrared apple? The answer is none of them, and all of them. The true apple exists beyond perception. Each creature experiences only a filtered illusion. And so the forest, the apple, the very world around you is never seen in its fullness, only through the narrow windows of your senses. Close your eyes for a moment and listen. Perhaps you hear the hum of your room, the faint rhythm of your breath. It may feel like silence, but silence is never silent. The world is vibrating with countless sounds, but your ears can only detect a narrow band between about 20 and 20,000 hertz. Everything above and below is invisible to you. A whale sings in the ocean, its voice dropping so low. It vibrates the very water. Its call travels hundreds of miles, yet you would never hear it. To you it is silence. A bat cries into the night, its voice pitched so high that your ears cannot follow. But to the bat, every cry comes back as an echo, mapping the world with sound. To you, it is silence again. An elephant rumbles softly through the ground, sending messages in deep vibrations your feet cannot feel. A dog pricks its ears to a whistle you cannot detect. Everywhere, hidden songs pass unnoticed, and yet your filtered hearing gives you the illusion of completeness. The same is true of smell. For a dog, the ground tells stories. It can smell the path a person took hours ago. It can detect fear, excitement, or illness from the faintest trace. But for you, most of these stories vanish. The air seems plain, empty. Taste, too, is simplified. Your tongue recognizes only 5 main categories: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, umami. But every meal contains thousands of molecules. Your brain smooths them together into flavors, never show you the full map of what lies within. Touch, even touch, is narrowed. You do not feel each atom that presses against your skin. You feel pressure, warmth, texture, the infinite detail hidden from you. Reality is a grand orchestra, but you hear only a few instruments. And yet, because they play in harmony, it feels like the whole song. This illusion is comforting. It creates stability, order, a version of the world that makes sense. Without it, the flood of vibrations, molecules, and signals would drown you. So, as you sit in the stillness of your room, know that it is not truly still. The air is alive with invisible signals. The ground hums with vibrations. Unseen colors shimmer, just out of reach. And yet, your brain shows you only a gentle, softened version, like a lullaby sung from a greater song. Think of perception as a map, not the land itself, but a simplified drawing, showing just enough for you to travel. If you had to carry the whole land inside your mind, every blade of grass, every grain of sand, every movement of air, it would be impossible. So your senses create a map, a smaller version, one that omits most details, but keeps just enough for survival. The map is not the land, but to you, it feels like reality. This is why 2 people can walk through the same street and notice different things. One may hear the birds, another may notice the smell of coffee. Each map is unique, each filter slightly different, and yet each person feels they see the same real world. In truth, no 2 realities are identical. Even you and the person beside you are living in slightly different worlds. Your senses filter differently. Your memories shape perception differently. Reality is shared, but it is never the same. Science shows us this again and again. Take light. Your eyes are blind to most of the electromagnetic spectrum. The rainbow you see is just a sliver. Beyond violet lie ultraviolet rays. Beyond red lie infrared rays. Then microwaves, radio waves, gamma rays. An entire ocean of invisible light, surrounding you at all times. And yet, your brain paints only a thin strip into color. This is the illusion of completeness. The feeling that you see it all when you see only a slice, that you hear it all when you hear only a fraction, that you touch the world when you touch only its surface. Your perception is a filter. It is both a limitation and a gift. Without it, Reality would be too vast, too chaotic. With it, you find beauty, order, meaning, like a window that does not show the entire sky, but still lets you admire the stars. So tonight, as you close your eyes, you might imagine that the world around you is larger, deeper, stranger than your senses allow, that what you see by day is only a painted map, a softened illusion, shaped lovingly by your brain. And in dreams, perhaps, the filter opens just a little, and you glimpse something more, something beyond the curtain. Imagine, for a moment, that you are sitting in a quiet room. The lights are low, the air is still. Outside, the world goes on, countless movements, sounds, and colors happening all at once. But inside your mind, only a gentle stream arrives. Bits of light through your eyes, vibrations through your ears, a faint scent in the air, a soft touch on your skin, scattered fragments, disconnected pieces, and yet somehow, when you open your eyes or take a breath, it all feels like one seamless world. How does this happen? The answer lies in the greatest storyteller you will ever know, your brain. Your brain is not a camera recording the world as it is. It is more like an artist or an author, weaving the scraps of information it receives into a continuous, flowing story. Without the storyteller, your experience of reality will be shattered, broken into meaningless fragments. Think of the brain as a weaver at a loom. Tiny threads arrive every second. A flash of light, a sound, a shift of temperature. The weaver works tirelessly, joining them together, stitching them into a tapestry. What you call reality is this tapestry, this story, but the story is not perfect. The weaver often runs out of threads, so it improvises, fills in gaps, invents patterns, and yet, because it does this so seamlessly, you never notice. You live inside the story, believing it to be the whole truth. For example, take the moment when you blink. Each blink lasts about 1/10 of a second. During that time, no light reaches your eyes, no image forms, and yet you do not experience darkness. Your brain quietly fills the gap, smoothing over the missing frames so that the story continues without interruption. Or think of when you walk through a crowded street. Your ears catch fragments of voices, engines, footsteps. Your eyes see flashes of faces, colors, shapes, and yet you never feel lost in chaos. Your brain edits the noise into a coherent narrative. You feel like you are walking through a single, flowing scene. The storyteller within you is constant, tireless, always inventing, shaping, connecting. It does not show you the raw truth, but a polished version, like a novel based on real events, but smooth, dramatized, simplified. The brain story is not reality, but it is close enough to live in. Let us drift deeper into how the storyteller works. Imagine you are watching clouds drift across the evening sky. You see shapes in them, a face, a bird, a mountain. The clouds are random, but your brain insists on a pattern. This is a storyteller at work, searching for meaning, weaving stories into the meaningless. The same happens with sound. When you hear a half-finished word, your brain guesses the rest. When you hear a song cut short, your mind continues a melody in silence. The storyteller refuses to leave the tale unfinished. Optical illusions reveal this process clearly. Look at an image where two lines appear different lengths. Though they are the same, your brain is not deceived by your eyes. Your eyes are giving true data, but the storyteller interprets the data and decides on the most likely story, even if it is wrong. Think also of memory. When you recall the past, You might believe you are watching a recording, but memory, too, is a story. Each time you remember, the storyteller recreates the scene, filling in blanks, smoothing over details, sometimes adding things that were never there, and yet the memory feels whole. This is why eyewitness accounts can differ. Two people see the same event. Later, each tells a slightly different version, not because they lied, but because their storytellers wrote different scripts. One might remember the sky as darker, another might recall it brighter, one might emphasize a sound, the other a gesture. Each truth feels solid, but both are partial stories. Your brain cannot help this. It was not designed to give perfect truth. It was designed to create useful stories, stories that keep you safe, help you act, guide you through the uncertain world. Consider the ancient human walking through tall grass. A rustle is heard. The brain must decide quickly, is it the wind or a predator? It fills the gap with a likely story, perhaps imagining the shape of danger. Better to invent a false story threat than to miss the true one. And so, survival favored a brain that filled gaps with imagination. Even now, this remains within you. You see patterns in shadows, faces in the clouds. You sense movement in the corner of your eye. Most of the time, nothing is there, but your storyteller never rests, never stops weaving. This filling of gaps makes your reality smooth, seamless, and constant. But it also reminds us that what we experience is not the raw world. It is the world as told by the storyteller in our minds. Now, imagine life without the storyteller. Suppose the brain gave you only raw fragments, unconnected, unpolished. You might see flashes of light, hear bursts of sound, feel random textures, but they would not form into people, objects, places. It would be chaos. The storyteller saves you from chaos. By linking fragments into a narrative, it allows you to walk through a street and see a city rather than fragments of stone and motion. It allows you to sit with a friend and see a person rather than colors, shapes, and noises. Your entire identity is also part of the story. You are not given every memory at once. You are given a carefully woven tale of who you are, edited and smoothed, with beginnings, middles, and ends. Your sense of self is the greatest story of all. This story is powerful. It can shape your emotions, your beliefs, your choices. When the storyteller writes that you are safe, you feel calm. When it writes that you are in danger, you feel fear. The same world, filtered through different stories, creates entirely different realities. Dreams show us this more vividly. In dreams, the storyteller is freed from external input. It invents entire worlds, seamless and strange. You walk through them, believing them real, only upon waking. Do you see they were stories? But the feeling remains that your mind is capable of building realities all on its own. Even now, as you listen to these words, your brain is not recording them perfectly. It is weaving them into a gentle tale, a soothing flow. You will remember pieces. Forget others. Fill gaps with your imagination, and the story you carry will be your own, different from what was spoken, yet real to you. So, the brain is not just an organ. It is an author, a weaver, a dreamer. It writes the script of your life, moment by moment, and you live within its pages. The story may not always be accurate. It may not always reflect the objective world, but it is enough to survive, enough to find meaning, and sometimes enough to find beauty As you drift toward rest tonight, you might imagine your brain as a quiet storyteller, sitting by a fire, flipping through endless pages, writing your world as you sleep, and tomorrow, when you wake, it will hand you another chapter, seamless, believable, yours. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the world without sight. No shapes, no colors, no horizon stretching before you, only the other senses, guiding you through darkness. Now, slowly, let your inner mind open the curtain of vision. A flood of light enters. Patterns form into edges, edges into objects. The world comes alive through the gentle window of your eyes. Vision feels so natural, so complete, that we often mistake it for reality itself. We say, "I'll believe it when I see it," as though sight is truth. But vision is not truth. It is an interpretation, a story woven from light. Your eyes are not windows. They are translators. They capture tiny slices of electromagnetic waves and send them as signals to the brain, and your brain, like a painter with a limited palette, creates the world you see. Consider the spectrum of light, from the shortest invisible gamma rays to the longest invisible radio waves, stretches an endless ocean, but your eyes detect only a sliver, a narrow band between red and violet, a single octave in the infinite symphony of light. The colors of the rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, these are not the full song, but only a tiny fragment. Ultraviolet burns your skin, but you cannot see it. Infrared warms your hands by the fire, but it remains invisible. X-rays pass silently through your bones, unseen, and radio waves carry voices across the earth, yet leave no trace in your vision. And so, the world you see is not the whole world. It is a filtered illusion, sculpted by evolution, enough to find food, enough to recognize faces, enough to move safely through the forest and the plain. But the fullness of light remains hidden, an invisible ocean surrounding you always. The story of vision does not end with the eye. It begins there, but the true work is done in the brain. When light strikes your eyes, it triggers chemical changes in tiny cells called photoreceptors, rods sensitive to light and darkness, cones sensitive to color. Together, they convert photons into tiny electrical signals. But these signals are not pictures, not images. The raw data is scattered, fragmented. The brain must gather it, organize it, interpret it. It is the brain that transforms vibrations of light into the smooth, colorful world you see. Think of the brain as an artist given only a box of paints and a few scattered notes. From this, it creates a canvas so convincing that you believe it is reality. But sometimes the artist makes mistakes, and the errors reveal the truth. Consider optical illusions. When you see two lines the same length, but one appears longer, or when a still image seems to move, or when colors shift before your eyes. These illusions are not failures of sight. They are windows into how the brain paints its story. The brain guesses, fills gaps, smooths edges. It does not passively record the world. It actively creates it. Even color itself is not a property of objects. It is a perception, a mental experience. The apple on the table is not truly red. It reflects certain wavelengths, but redness exists only in your mind. To a bee, the same apple glows with ultraviolet. To a snake, it radiates warmth and infrared. To you, it shines red. And so, Vision is not a mirror, but a painting, not a copy of the world, but an interpretation. This painting is so smooth, so seamless that you rarely question it. But when you pause and notice the illusions, you glimpse the brushstrokes, the truth that sight is less about seeing reality and more about constructing it. Let us drift a little deeper into the dreamlike quality of vision. When you dream at night, you see vivid worlds, colors, landscapes, faces, movements, but your eyes are closed, no light enters. Still, your brain paints visions as real as waking life. This shows us something remarkable. Vision does not depend entirely on the eyes. It depends on the storyteller within the brain, the dreamer, the painter. Even in waking life, the same dreamlike process unfolds. You are not shown the full truth of the world. You are shown a story woven with light. Sometimes the story bends. Have you ever stared at the stars and thought they were twinkling? In truth, the stars shine steadily. It is the shifting air in Earth's atmosphere, distorting their light. And yet, your brain accepts the twinkle as real. Or think of a mirage in the desert. Heat bends a light, creating the illusion of water. Your eyes send true signals, but the brain interprets them into a false story. And for a moment, illusion feels like truth. Vision can also be shaped by expectation. When you look for a friend in a crowd, suddenly you notice faces resembling theirs everywhere. Your brain primes the eye to find what it expects, and the world bends to match the story. All of this reminds us that what we see is not the objective world. It is a filtered, painted, dreamlike illusion, one that feels real enough to trust, but one that always hides more than it shows. And yet, this illusion is beautiful, because within its limits you find meaning. You see sunsets glowing red and gold, forests shimmering green, oceans painted in endless blues. You see smiles, eyes, gestures of love and kindness. You see art, books, films, all born from the same illusion of vision. If vision were perfect, if you saw every wavelength, every photon, every detail, it might overwhelm you. The illusion protects you, softens reality, makes it bearable, livable, wondrous. So tonight, as you close your eyes and rest in the darkness, know that your vision, your painted world of light, is only one version of reality, a dream woven by your brain, a dream you live in each day until night comes, and the painter within creates new visions in your dreams. Close your eyes and listen, even in silence. The world whispers to you, the faint hum of electricity, the breath of air through a window, the distant echo of footsteps. Hearing is often quiet, hidden in the background of life, but it is one of your oldest, most faithful senses. Long before language, long before music, long before civilization, our ancestors listened. Sound is not a thing you can hold. It is a vibration, a wave moving through air, water, or solid earth. When something moves, it disturbs the particles around it. The particles bump against each other, like tiny dancers passing a rhythm down a line. And this rhythm, this pattern of pressure, travels outward as sound. When it reaches your ears, the dance continues. Your outer ear gathers the waves, funneling them into canal. Your eardrum trembles. Delicate bones inside vibrate. The cochlea, a spiral filled with fluid, ripples in response. Tiny hair cells bend gently in the waves. And with each bend, they send signals to the brain. The brain listens. It decodes pitch, tone, rhythm, and meaning. It tells you. A bird sings outside. A friend calls your name, a melody drift from far away, and like vision, hearing is selective. The human ear perceives only a narrow band of frequencies, from the lowest rumble around 20 hertz to the highest sparkle around 20,000 hertz. Below that lies infrasound, used by elephants to communicate across miles. Above that lies ultrasound, used by bats to hunt in darkness. The ocean of sound is vast, but you float within a small lagoon. And yet, in that lagoon, wonders unfold. Voices, songs, laughter, whispers, the sound of rain on a roof, the murmur of waves against the shore. Each vibration carries not only information, but emotion. Sound shapes your memory, your feelings, your sense of belonging. To hear is to be connected, connected to others, connected to the world. And even in silence, the ear waits, always ready for the next wave. But hearing, like vision, is not a simple recording. It is an act of interpretation. The ear captures vibrations, but the brain makes them into meaning. Consider language. The words you hear now are simply waves of air pressure, yet your brain recognizes patterns, transforms them into syllables, then into words, then into ideas. You do not hear sound alone. You hear thought, transmitted invisibly through vibration. And sometimes the brain hears what it expects rather than what is present. Imagine listening to a song. You know, well, if a note is missing, your mind fills it in. The melody continues, seamless. The illusion is complete. This power of interpretation is revealed in illusions of hearing. Think of the Laurel or Yanni recording, where some people hear one word, others hear another, or the shepherd tone, a sound that seems to rise endlessly, yet goes nowhere. The ear and brain together weave an illusion, not always accurate, but always convincing. Hearing also carries deep emotional weight. A mother's voice to her child, a song tied to a memory, the cry of someone in distress. Sound bypasses logic, reaching directly into feeling. Scientists believe this is because hearing evolved as an alarm system long before sight developed clarity. Sound warned of danger, the snap of a twig behind you, the growl of a predator in the dark. Your ears sense direction in space, alerting you faster than your eyes could turn. This ancient purpose still lives within you. Sudden noises startle you, make your heart race, even when there is no real threat. But the same pathways that stir fear also stir joy. Music can move you to tears. A gentle lullaby can calm you to sleep. A choir can lift your spirit higher than words alone could reach. Hearing connects emotion with vibration in a way no other sense does. So when you listen, you are not simply detecting sound. You are interpreting, feeling, responding. You are weaving sound into story, a story that shapes your inner world as much as the outer. Now, let us drift deeper still into the dreamlike nature of hearing. For sound, like vision, is also incomplete. There are gaps, illusions, absences, and in those spaces, the brain invents its own music. Think of silence. True silence is rare. In an anechoic chamber, where sound cannot bounce or echo, people begin to hear themselves, the rush of blood in the ears, the faint beat of the heart. Even in silence, the body sings, and in sleep, the brain composes its own sounds. In dreams, you may hear voices, songs, conversations, none of them carried by air, none of them real, yet they feel vivid, believable, just as vision dreams images, hearing dreams sound. This blending of real and imagined sound happens in waking life too. When you think of a melody, you hear it in your mind. When you remember someone's voice, the echo plays within you. Your brain is both an ear and an instrument. It listens, but it also composes. And perhaps most mysterious of all is the way hearing creates connection. Two people speaking, one sending waves into the air, another receiving them, invisible ripples linking two minds across space. Language, music, laughter, whispers, all bridges of sound. Reality itself seems to hum with vibration. Physicists tell us that atoms vibrate. Strings, perhaps, if the theories are true, oscillate at cosmic frequencies, and in some poetic way, hearing is our reminder that at the heart of everything, there is resonance. When you close your eyes tonight, listen for the gentle symphony around you, the quiet rhythm of your breath, the subtle song of life, and let it remind you that hearing is not only a sense, it is a doorway, a way to feel the universe moving through vibration, through resonance, through connection. Take a slow breath and think of your senses as windows. Each one opens to the outside world, but each window is small, framed, limited. Through vision, you see color and form, but as we spoke before, you see only a sliver of the spectrum. Most of light is hidden. Ultraviolet, infrared, X-rays, radio waves, all invisible to your eyes, yet present, surrounding you always. Through hearing, you catch vibrations in air, from 20 to 20,000 hertz. But below that lies infrasound, deep as the rumble of an elephant's call, and above that, ultrasound, sharp as the clicks of a bat in the dark. A universe of sound beyond your hearing. Touch, too, has its boundaries. You feel the warmth of the sun, but not the gentle dance of single atoms colliding with your skin. You sense pressure, texture, pain, but cannot feel the magnetic fields guiding a bird across continents. Taste and smell, delicate as they are, sense only fragments of chemistry. A handful of molecules tell your tongue sweet, sour, salty, bitter, umami. Your nose, though sensitive, still misses countless hidden fragrances. Dogs smell in rich detail. Sharks detect a single drop of blood across oceans. But to you, the chemical sea is faint, blurred, incomplete, and so the senses show you enough to survive, enough to love, to enjoy, to wonder, but never the whole truth. Imagine the world as a great painting, enormous, detailed, filled with layers of color, shape, and sound. You stand before it, but only a spotlight falls upon a small patch. That is all your senses reveal. The rest remains hidden, just beyond the edges of awareness. We live in the gaps, in the spaces where senses cannot reach. And it is there that mystery begins. When the senses fall silent, the brain does not accept emptiness. It fills the void with guesses, with stories, with illusions. Think of the blind spot in each eye, a place on the retina where no photoreceptors exist. Every moment you look around, there is a hole in your vision, yet you do not see a black spot. Your brain fills it in, inventing what should be there, seamless, invisible, convincing. Or imagine walking in a dark room. Your eyes see only fragments. Your ears catch faint echoes. Your brain stitches the scraps together, making a coherent picture, though it may not match reality. Sometimes the guesses are helpful. They smooth the gaps, guide you safely, but sometimes they mislead. You see faces in clouds, hear voices in the wind, patterns where none exist, meaning where there is only noise. Science calls this pareidolia, the tendency to perceive order and randomness. It is why people see shapes on the moon, why we hear hidden messages in static. The brain abhors gaps, and so it fills them with imagination. This ability has shaped human history. Our ancestors heard whispers in the forest. Sometimes they were just wind. Sometimes they were predators. Better to fill the silence with warning than to risk being unprepared. And yet, in these very gaps, art and myth are born, the stories of gods and stars, the music imagined in silence, the dreams woven in darkness, all arise because the senses fall short, and the brain paints the missing pieces. The gaps in senses are not flaws. They're the spaces where wonder grows. Now, let us float a little deeper into the sea of absence. Imagine reality as vast, endless, too immense to hold. Your senses, like tiny lanterns, cast light into the darkness, but the shadows stretch far beyond the glow. Most of the universe lies outside your reach. You cannot hear the symphony of radio waves streaming from distant galaxies. You cannot see the dance of neutrinos passing silently through your body. You cannot feel the subtle tug of dark matter shaping galaxies. And yet, all of it is real. All of it is here. The truth is, you live in a filtered world, an edited version of reality, trimmed and compressed. The senses act as guardians, showing only what you need. Too much information would overwhelm you, so you are given a smaller, simpler version, and this version feels complete. It feels solid, continuous, whole, but beneath it lies vastness. Consider the ocean. Standing at the shore, you see only the surface, waves breaking, sunlight glittering, foam dancing, but beneath are deep currents, silent creatures, endless mysteries. So, too, your senses show you the surface of reality, but beneath lies an unseen ocean. And yet, perhaps this is not a weakness. Perhaps it is a gift. The gaps invite curiosity. They push you to ask questions, to explore, to imagine. If the senses showed you everything, there would be no mystery, no wonder, no discovery. So when you think of what is missing, the light unseen, the sounds unheard, the worlds unfelt, do not despair, for within those gaps lies the poetry of existence. The unknown is not emptiness, it is possibility. Tonight, as you drift toward sleep, feel the quiet edges of your perception. Notice the spaces where the senses end, and let them remind you that you live always between knowing and mystery, between the seen and the unseen, between the heard and the unheard. It is in the gaps that wonder lives, and it is in the gaps that dreams are born. Take a gentle breath and soften your gaze. Look around your room. Notice the shapes, the colors, the edges. It all feels complete, whole, unbroken, but hidden within your sight are holes, blind spots, places where no image forms. Each eye carries such a gap, where the optic nerve leaves the retina. No light is detected there, no picture exists, and yet you never notice. Why? Because the brain refuses emptiness. Instead, it fills in the blank space seamlessly, effortlessly. It copies the surrounding patterns, stretches the colors, invents the missing details, and you accept the illusion, believing you see everything. This small example reveals a much larger truth. Your brain is not a passive receiver. It is an active creator. When the senses fall silent, the brain whispers its own story. It refuses gaps. It stitches the world together. Imagine a puzzle with missing pieces. Your mind does not leave holes. It paints in what it thinks belongs there. A patch of sky, a stripe of wood, the curve of a face. Even if it is not truly there, the brain supplies it, and you accept the invention as reality. We live every day within these invisible corrections, blind spots, filled in silences woven with imagined sound, moments lost, stitched together into a seamless stream of time. And so, the world feels continuous, complete, whole, but much of that wholeness is created by you, not by reality itself. The filling in of blanks does not stop with vision, it extends into every corner perception. Consider hearing. In noisy places, your ears catch only fragments, broken syllables, scattered sounds, yet your brain weaves them into sentences. You believe you heard every word, but in truth, you heard fragments and the rest was guessed. In reading, too, the same occurs. Glance quickly at a line of text. Your eyes may miss letters, but your brain fills the gaps. It reads what it expects, not always what is truly there. And memory. Memory is perhaps the most striking example. Your recollections are not perfect records. They are reconstructions. Each time you recall a moment, the brain fills in missing details, reshaping the memory, adding color where there was shadow, smoothing confusion into clarity, and slowly, the story changes until it no longer matches the original event, yet it feels true. This is why eyewitness accounts differ, why two people can share the same moment, but remember it differently. The brain edits, guesses, reshapes until the gaps vanish. But in vanishing, truth bends. Dreams, too, are woven from blanks. A dream may begin in the middle of a scene. No beginning, no explanation, yet your brain accepts it. It does not question why you are in a strange city or why a loved one appears beside you. The dream feels continuous because the brain stitches the gaps without effort. All of this shows us that reality, as you know it, is not only sensed, it is constructed, layered with invention, filled with imagined pieces, reshaped into story. Your brain is not just a listener of the world, it is a storyteller. Now let us drift even deeper into the quiet truth that the brain's filling of blanks is not a flaw, but a gift. Imagine for a moment that your brain did not do this, that every blind spot remained empty, every missing sound remained silent, every forgotten detail stayed blank. Your experience would be fragmented, broken, confusing. You would stumble through a patchwork world, full of gaps and holes. Instead, the brain smooths the edges. It fills in silence with continuity. It colors emptiness with imagination. It gives you a world that feels whole, even when it is not. This gift allows you to live fluidly, to follow conversations, even when words are lost, to enjoy stories, even when details fade, to walk through life, feeling as though everything is continuous, complete, seamless. Of course, sometimes this gift misleads. Illusions trick you. False memories deceive you. But even then, the filling in protects you. It saves you from the chaos of emptiness. Perhaps, in a deeper sense, this is how life itself works. We are surrounded by mysteries, by unanswered questions, by the unknown, and our minds fill the gaps with stories, beliefs, myths, explanations. They may not always be true, but they give comfort, they give shape, they give meaning. So tonight, as you close your eyes, notice the gentle power of your brain. It does not leave you in darkness. It fills in the blanks with dreams. It carries you through silence with music of its own making. It takes the fragments of your life and weaves them into a continuous story. You live not in a perfect world, but in a woven one, a tapestry of real and imagined threads, a seamless cloth where gaps vanish, and in those vanished gaps lies the very illusion of reality. Take a slow breath and notice the passing of this very moment. The word you just heard now belongs to the past. The word you wait for belongs to the future, and yet you feel them blending together into what you call time. Time feels like a river flowing endlessly forward. You stand within it, unable to step outside, unable to stop the current. Each second carries you further, from birth toward tomorrow, from memory into dream. But what is time? Is it a real thing existing outside of you? Or is it a feeling created within your mind? Think of a child at play. Hours pass like minutes. Joy compresses time, makes it fly. Now think of waiting in silence for news, for someone, for change. Minutes stretch like hours. Anticipation slows time, makes it heavy. The clock on the wall ticks evenly, but your experience of time expands and contracts like breath, like heartbeat. This suggests something profound. Time, as you live it, is not only external, it is a mental construct, woven by perception, shaped by feeling, painted by memory. Your brain does not sense time the way it senses light or sound. There are no organs for time, no time receptors in your body. Instead, the brain measures change. It counts rhythm. It notices patterns. It stores memories. And from these fragments, it creates a feeling of past, present, and future. Without memory, there would be no past. Without expectation, no future. There would only be this eternal now. And yet, we experience more because the brain stitches change into story and names it time. Now let us drift deeper into how the mind constructs the flow of time. Your senses catch moments, fragments of light, sound, touch. Each instant arrives separately, yet your brain smooths them into a continuous stream, a movie rather than scattered frames. Think of film itself. A movie is only a series of still images, flashed quickly, one after another, but your mind refuses to see them as separate. It fills the gaps, blends the pieces, and creates motion. From stillness comes continuity. From fragments comes flow. Time, too, may work this way. The brain takes scattered moments, fills the gaps, and from this stitching creates the feeling of time passing. Experiments reveal this. When scientists show two flashes of light in quick succession, the brain often perceives a third, illusory flash. When sounds occur slightly apart, the brain adjusts them, making them seem simultaneous. In both vision and hearing, the brain bends time to create smoothness. This bending explains why time can feel distorted. Under stress, perception sharpens, moments slow. During joy, attention scatters, moments speed. Your brain is not a clock. It is a storyteller, and time is its tale. Even memory reshapes time. Moments you recall vividly feel longer, fuller. Moments forgotten seem short, thin, fleeting. This is why childhood summers stretch like eternity, and adult years slip by so quickly. The density of memory changes the length of felt time, and so continuity is an illusion, a gift of the mind. Without it, life would be broken into pieces. With it, life becomes a flowing river. Now, let us sink even further. beyond clocks, beyond calendars, into the timeless present. Physicists tell us time may not flow as we feel it does. Einstein revealed that time bends with speed and gravity. A clock on a fast-moving ship ticks more slowly. A clock near a massive planet lags behind one far away. Time is not absolute. It is woven into space, flexible, elastic, strange, at the deepest level, in the realm of quantum physics. Some theories suggest time might not even exist, not as we know it. The universe may simply be a web of relationships, a shifting pattern, and what we call time is just our way of experiencing change. This resonates with a quieter truth. Within you, the present moment is all you ever truly have. The past lives only in memory, the future only in imagination. The now is timeless, eternal. Meditation often points to this. When you rest deeply, without chasing thoughts, you feel the simplicity of being here, breathing, hearing, existing without past or future, a taste of timelessness within the mind. Perhaps this is why dreams blur time. You may dream a long story in only minutes, or feel hours pass in an instant, because the brain in dreams does not keep the same clock. It creates its own rhythm, its own timeless flow. And so, time is both real and unreal, a measure, an illusion, a construct of mind, and a bending of physics. Tonight, as you drift toward rest, let go of hours, minutes, seconds. Feel instead the soft rhythm of your breath. This is your true clock, a timeless pulse, carrying you gently, and as sleep takes you, you step beyond clock entirely, into dreams where time dissolves, and only the timeless now remains. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the weight of all the ideas we have explored together. Perception as a filter. The brain as a storyteller. The senses and their gaps. The way time bends and the strange puzzle of quantum reality. And yet, with all these discoveries, the greatest truth remains. We do not know it all. Every time science reveals one layer, another appears. Every question answered opens 10 more, like walking through fog, where each step makes a path ahead visible, but the horizon stays hidden. This is the essence of mystery. Think of the ancient people. Looking at the night sky, they saw stars and believed them to be fires of gods, candles of spirits, holes in a great dome. Then science whispered new stories. Stars or suns, vast, burning, ancient, but now we ask, what is beyond them? Are there other universes? Other laws of physics? Mystery expands as knowledge grows. The brain seeks certainty. It wants answers, closure, finality, but reality resists. It offers glimpses, fragments, echoes, never the whole. Like a painting forever unfinished, the book with missing pages. And perhaps this is beautiful, for if all were known, the wonder would end. Mystery invites us to imagine, to explore, to stay curious, even as we rest. Even now, as you drift toward sleep, you may wonder, is the world as it seems? Or is it all illusion, all story, all dream? The mystery remains. As you listen, let your breathing slow and think of how living with mystery changes life. You do not need every answer. Sometimes simply asking is enough. Children know this. They gaze at the sky, at flowers, at rivers, and ask endless questions without needing solutions. Why is the sky blue? Why do leaves fall? Why do we dream? Their joy is in the asking, in the wonder itself. Adults, too, can reclaim this. to walk through the world as though it were new, to feel awe in ordinary things, the light on water, the sound of rain, the warmth of a hand. Even when science explains them, the mystery lingers. For knowing how light bends does not remove the wonder of a rainbow. Knowing how sound travels does not steal the beauty of a song. Living with mystery means embracing uncertainty. It means trusting that not knowing is part of being alive. It means resting in the gentle truth that the universe is larger than our minds can hold. This acceptance brings peace. For often, sleeplessness is born of questions we cannot resolve. What will tomorrow bring? What if things go wrong? What is the meaning of it all? But when we lean back into mystery, we realize not every question needs an answer tonight. Some can wait, some can remain open, and in that openness, the mind can soften and sleep can come. So live with wonder. Let mystery be your companion, not your enemy, for it whispers softly, life is not meant to be solved, but savored. Now, in this final stretch of our journey, let us rest with the unknown. The illusion of reality has guided us through senses, through time, through perception and story. And still, the mystery remains. Why are we here? What is consciousness? Is the world we see the true world, or only a veil? Some say reality is material, atoms and energy, governed by laws. Some say it is mental, woven of thoughts, dreams, awareness itself. And some whisper, perhaps it is both or neither. But tonight, the answers do not matter. Only the mystery matters. Imagine the universe as a vast ocean. We are like small boats floating on its surface. We cannot see its full depth. We cannot know its farthest shores. But we can feel its waves, hear its rhythms, be carried by its gentle tide. The mystery holds us like water holds a boat. It carries us even as we drift into sleep. And so, as your eyes grow heavy, know this. It is all right not to know. It is all right to rest without answers. For the universe does not require your certainty, only your presence. Take a soft breath. Let the day fade. Let the unknown cradle you. The mystery remains. And in its arms, you are safe, you are at peace. Good night, dear listener. May your dreams be gentle. May your rest be deep. And may the mystery keep you in wonder always. Good night and goodbye.